attendance, either in person. You're welcome to come in person or through Zoom. First thing we normally do, I'm Lyndon Coffey. I'm with American Recycling, also co-chair of the Stanislaus Green Team. And first thing we normally do is go around the room and introduce ourselves. We'll kind of just point out and give a brief introduction, your name and who you're with.
So Madhu, we'll start with you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Madhu Singh. I'm the community branch manager here with Bank of Stockton, but I'm located here in Modesto at the Dale Pellendale branch.
Thank you. And Anne?
Everybody, I am Ann Shellman, the Master Gardener Coordinator here in Stanislaus County, located out at the Ag Center.
Thank you. And Casey?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Casey Hogue, and I run Serotonin Creative Consultancy, and we are a branding and marketing firm focused on corporate social responsibility and sustainability based here in Modesto.
And I understand one of our newest certified businesses.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Jeff, hi.
Hey, how you doing? This is Jeff Pica with Blue Diamond Growers, environmental manager, corporate environment manager for Blue Diamond with 3 facilities, 2 in Stanislaus County, one up in Sacramento.
Nice to see you. Thank you. And Judy?
Hi, folks. I'm Judy Notley, and I serve as the Ombudsman and Small Business Liaison for the California Air Resources Board.
Thank you. I forgot to unbuzz my background. To my right is...
I'm Jolene. I am an admin here at the Chamber, and I run the Green Business Program.
And I'm Trish Christensen, President and CEO of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. We're really happy to have you here with us today. We are recording this meeting, and what we've started doing when we record these is we will render them up to our YouTube channel, and it'll be posted on our website. If you navigate down to our programs Green Team and go to that page, you'll find all the videos from our meetings that we've done the last several months. Lyndon, back to you.
Very cool. We're going to go right to our speaker. It's Anthony Presto, a personal friend of mine. He's with the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. And he is here to present today, and give him a warm welcome. And what we'll do is, I need to remind everybody to keep your Zoom on mute. And then if you have a question, there'll be time for that afterwards, or you can send it in the chat room, little box there. And if you want, we want them to put their information too in the chat room if they've ever been, with your email address, contact information, that kind of thing, if you haven't done so in the past. All right, take it away, Anthony. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Lyndon. I appreciate that. It's great to see you all and fantastic to be here again. I'm going to try and share my screen with you now. And am I being successful in sharing my screen?
Yes, you are, sir.
Fantastic. So my name is Anthony Presto. I'm with the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. I work in outreach and communications there. And what I'd like to do today is give you an overview. And I see some new faces. I know that there's some members of the Chamber and the Green Team that kind of already know what we're doing at the Air District, but things change a great deal. And I'm very happy to see new faces in as well. Going to let you know what's going on currently in the San Joaquin Valley with air quality, the things that we're trying to do to make a positive impact. And we're going to go over a lot of the incentives that are available to businesses, to residents, public agencies to help benefit air quality, not just in Modesto, but throughout the entire San Joaquin Valley. And we're going to start off talking about what's impacting us the most recently. And we have really, the past few years, seen wildfires just taking over during the summer. They tend to be in the late summer and now into the fall. We call that wildfire season. It's not over yet. As a matter of fact, we have a a wildfire information page at the Air District that really is like a one-stop shopping center for everything that has to do with wildfires. And then here's the link to it right here. You can just go to Valley Air District, valleyair.org, to get into that wildfire information page. What this does is it shows you, first of all, the current wildfires that are taking place in California that are impacting us in the San Joaquin Valley. Right now, we're seeing only complex fire in Sequoia National Park is really the main one that's sending any smoke in at all. Right now, conditions are pretty good because we have had some favorable weather. We're also listing the recent wildfires that have impacted the San Joaquin Valley. And along with that, we have access to AirNow's wildfire smoke app. And it shows you or app map, actually, it shows you where all the, hang on a second, I'm trying to, I think it froze on me there. Not a great time for that to happen, but it shows you where all of the monitoring stations are, and it actually shows you, you see these little flames, shows you that wildfires are taking. We're seeing all green and yellow, which is, green is good. These are all locations, these squares and circles, triangles are locations where there's either permanent air monitoring stations, or in the case of the triangles, those are temporary air monitoring stations that are placed there either by the Air District or the California Air Resources Board to monitor wildfire activity that might be taking place. So this is really a great tool to use. You can use it at any time, day or night. And there's a lot of other resources on the wildfire information page, ways that it's explained that you can protect yourself, how to be smoke ready, how to set up a DIY temporary air filter in your home if you don't have a regular HVAC system that you can change the filters in. A lot of great resources here. You can go to CAL FIRE's website, the NC Web, the multi-agencies, and see what's going on in those areas. Getting back now to the presentation. So the type of pollution that we're talking about when we talk about wildfire smoke is particulate matter pollution. And particulate matter is really detrimental to public health, because when we get into fine particulate matter, we call that PM 2.5. That stands for particulate matter that's 2.5 micron smaller. These materials and particles can get really deep into the lungs, cause lung infections, aggravate asthma, emphysema, chronic bronchitis, and also it increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. The other particulate matter is a little larger. It's called PM10. That's generally in the form of dust. Also very detrimental to public health. PM 2.5 being a smaller particle can actually do more damage to you and get deeper into the bloodstream. That PM10 is generally in the form of dust. We've been seeing a lot of that lately too. If any of you were outside at all or looked out the window or were even alive in the San Joaquin Valley last week, I think it was about a week ago, we saw basically dust storms that we don't really see very often here in the Valley. So we've been having these huge wind events, and we're always going to be telling you when those are taking place, because we have a team of atmospheric science and atmospheric modeling experts that are seeing what's going on. They're like meteorologists, but they specialize in air quality. And on that day, it was the 10th, we had a particular bad dust storm coming in the San Joaquin Valley, and we sent out a press release late that day as most of the impacts took place that night and on Monday. But that's hopefully over. We actually got some rain today, knocking down a lot of the dust and dry conditions that are happening in Modesto, hoping that's going to take place throughout the entire valley this week. There's something else coming up, though. We're just a few days away from what we call the winter wood burning season. Our program, Check Before You Burn, is there to let people know days that they really should not burn in their fireplace. And we are having such a challenge on meeting federal air quality standards for particulate matter that we really are trying to get the message across to every Valley resident not to burn at all unless it's really your only source of heat. We're in a day and age now that it's very easy to flip on a switch and turn on a natural gas fireplace, which is going to use less natural gas than your whole house heater. And because it operates at a lower BTU level, and it's going to warm up your home just as well as a really good wood stove would. An open hearth fireplace does not warm your house up very well, maybe just a small area in front of the fireplace, and the rest of the house it actually makes colder because it needs so much oxygen. It's pulling in cold air through all the cracks around windows and doors and making the rest of the house colder. So to relieve that and to try and get people to switch to cleaner devices than burning wood, in addition to having the program where you need to check if you're going to burn wood to make sure it's a day that you can, and you can do that by going to checkbeforeyouburn.org. And you'll see here, this will begin on November 1st. The program runs from November 1st through February 28th. And when you go there, right now we're not in the season. It shows the season has ended. And it'll be on Halloween, late in the day on Halloween, October 31st. This will be populated, showing all the counties in the Valley and what their status is for the upcoming day. And this has changed every day. It's called based on the air quality forecast for each county. And it'll be a no burn for all if it's looking like air quality is already going to be poor in that county. If it's just under that, only allowing those people that have registered clean wood burning devices like an EPA certified wood stove or a pellet stove, and the extra step of registering that device with the San Joaquin Valley District so that we know that they have a clean burning stove, and if anyone complains, they would not get a violation. The first declaration is when things are clean, that wood burning is discouraged. That means you can burn, but we would definitely rather that you don't burn because we want to keep conditions as clean as possible. Now, in order to help people go in another direction and change out that device, I'm going to start talking about our incentives. Burn Cleaner is a very important incentive in that area because we are providing as much as $3,000 in some areas for people to go from an open hearth fireplace or a wood stove or even a pellet stove and make that into a natural gas insert, and which you're going to get that ambience just like you would with your wood stove in the house, but warm it up easier and cleaner. All you have to do is flip a switch, and a lot of these have remote controls, and there's an added incentive for low-income residents in the San Joaquin Valley. In addition to the incentives that are available for residential wood burning, electric cars are really coming along quickly. There's every car company is now putting out an electric vehicle, whether it's a plug-in hybrid or a completely battery electric vehicle, and that falls under our Drive Clean and the San Joaquin rebate program, where you get $3,000 back if you purchase or lease a completely electric vehicle, $2,000 back if you go for a plug-in hybrid. Now that's for new vehicles. For those people that might be on the other end of the spectrum and not anywhere near being able to buy or lease a new vehicle, maybe they've got an older vehicle like a 1999 vehicle or older that really is not worth getting fixed to pass their smog. We have the Replace program, and you could get as much as $9,500 toward replacing that vehicle with a newer, cleaner vehicle, not brand new, but newer, at least a hybrid, and hopefully going for a used electric vehicle in this program. How do you get there to that point? Well, we have a Drive Clean in the San Joaquin repair program as well. That's called Tune In and Tune Up. There are events throughout the San Joaquin Valley. They're listed on our website. There's one coming up, I believe, let's see, in Los Banos on the 30th. It's either Los Banos or Oakdale. And what happens there is it's free. You get an emissions test that would basically mock a smog test. It would let you know if you would pass a real smog test. And if you don't, we're going to pay as much as, I believe, $850 to repair your car and get you your smog test passing, so that you can get your tags for your vehicle, your registration. And, this is something that really helps people remain employed, because, not having a vehicle that they can drive safely and legally, it can be a barrier to employment. And, that's one of the things that's important in the San Joaquin Valley and throughout California, is having a car that you could actually drive legally. We want to make sure that happens. But say you go through and your car's 1999 or older and it does not pass that emissions test, that's when we would move the person along to the replace program, so that we can get them into a car that is much cleaner. There are so many incentives going on that are available to everybody in the valley to change out equipment. Lawnmowers, for instance, a gas lawnmower can pollute as much as 12 late model vehicles. They don't have the types of emissions controls that cars do because of the small area that they take up. So they tend to spew out a lot of emissions, and we'd like to move people into electric lawnmowers. So we have a program called Clean Green Yard Machines, and there's two ways that you can do this. If you have a gas lawnmower, you can turn that mower in, purchase an electric lawnmower, and get as much as half of the money back that you spent on that electric mower through that program. Say you don't have a lawnmower to turn in. Well, we'll still give you $50 for the new lawnmower that you purchase. And all that you have to do is go to our website at valleyair.org/grants, look up Clean Green Yard Machines. There's an application there you can fill out, and you'll want to send in your receipt with the application. And if you turned in your gas lawnmower at Modesto Junk Company, on your application, I think they put a little sticker on there verifying that you turned in your gas mower. But now it's not just lawnmowers anymore. Now there's other equipment that you can get that rebate for. So for every piece of gas-powered lawn equipment, there is an electric alternative that works just as well. So we will still give you some money back to change out your edger or your string trimmer or your hedge trimmer, your chainsaw, your pole saw. All of these fall under Clean Green Yard Machines, and not just for residents. There's a program as well for commercial landscapers. So look that up. You know somebody who's a commercial landscaper and you want them to operate more cleanly when they're doing your yard. Now, other vehicles for businesses, the truck replacement program under the statewide Prop B funding now is available for electric trucks, and the electric trucks are out there, and near zero emission trucks. That means natural gas powered trucks. And we're going to provide a great deal of funding for a small business owner to replace their trucks with these extremely clean big rigs now, as well as the Drive Clean and the San Joaquin program being available to businesses as well. They can buy electric vehicles and get money back for those. Clean Green Yard Machines is also a commercial program, and Charge Up is the program that helps us build up the valley's electric vehicle infrastructure. Obviously, we want to relieve any of that range anxiety that people might have. It's so easy to be able to charge your car up at home rather than going to a gas station, but also sometimes for longer trips, you might need to stop somewhere and charge your vehicle, and the Charge Up program provides pretty much the entire cost of putting in a vehicle charging station at, whether it's at a store, at your business for your employees and for your customers, pretty much in any situation where it's a business owner, and also at apartment units. We have it for that as well. So we really want to build up that infrastructure and get rid of all the reasons that anyone would not want an electric vehicle. There's plenty of incentives as well for the farming community. They're the ones that feed us. We want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're able to use this in funding to replace their equipment. There is a tractor replacement program. We have, and this was a long time coming, and now it's in full swing, the low dust nut harvester replacement program. Nobody is immune to the dust that we tend to experience during harvest time. And now these harvesters can be as much as 70% cleaner. We want to help the growers replace their older conventional nut harvesting equipment with these new extremely clean low dust nut harvesters. And as agricultural burning is really coming to an end, it's going to be nearly completely phased out by 2025. We also want to make sure to help the growers make that transition by providing incentives for an alternative to burning agricultural waste. In most cases, the best thing you can do is grind up that material and lay it back onto the soil, improving soil quality, and also it retains water better. So there's a lot of incentives there and a lot of funding provided for farmers to be able to make that transition. And the big thing going on now, and we're really close to the end, we need you to get your kids drawing. If you know a teacher from elementary school all the way through high school, we want to get that artwork in for our Healthier Living Kids Calendar Contest. The deadline is at the end of October. We really need to get moving on that. And we are looking for, brightly colored artwork. You can see a real good example there in the slide. It doesn't have to be the greatest artwork in the world, although I will tell you, once it gets into our calendar, it is considered the greatest artwork in the world. Nobody has ever argued that point, and we see some fantastic artwork and it can even be computer generated artwork. We see some of the high school students with their entries, and some of that computer generated artwork does make it into the calendar. We print 20,000 of these calendars every year. Last year was the exception because of the pandemic and not getting out to the schools. This year, we're going back to the printed version of the Healthier Living Kids Calendar. So please, if you've got kids or somebody who does, they like to draw, tell them about this contest. And there's the link right there at valleyAir.org/kids calendar. I think I talked an awful lot, but I'm willing to talk more if there's any questions.
Anthony, at one point you went to a link, I believe, that didn't open. So when you were referring to the triangles and the other things on a map, we didn't see that at that time.
I didn't come back to all that stuff that you guys missed. Wow, I am so sorry about that.
You were on such a rhythm roll right there. I thought, well, we'll get there at the end.
That is tragic. Let me see if there's anything that, let's see.
If it won't open, you have to check a box when you go to screen share. I don't know if it's a video or I don't know what it was you were showing because you couldn't see it. But
what about now? Are you seeing it now?
Your deck.
What are you seeing?
After this one, or I think it's the website on the bottom there. Go back one. That I think you opened that website link on your end. It did not open on ours.
Right. And that was the last thing you saw was when I went to that?
No, we saw the whole rest of your presentation. We just didn't see what you clicked on right there.
Okay, so you saw the other slides, just not the websites I went to.
Absolutely. So if you want to copy and paste them in, or that's probably your best bet if there's a couple that you want us to directly have. And I'd encourage, if you could, to share your deck with us. We'll put that out in email to the attendees today.
Okay, well, let me stop sharing.
Okay.
And I will how do I stop sharing? There we go. So I'm no longer sharing. And so I will put a couple of links in the chat for all of you.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions regarding any of the things I talked about, or any things that I didn't talk about that you're wondering about, I'd be glad to entertain those.
Yeah, we have time for questions if anybody has any.
Hi, Anthony and Shelman with the Master Gardeners. I did have a question for you. You mentioned something in one of the slides that we could sign up for that would give us alerts. Is that an app or was that from a website?
On our website, valleyair.org, or you can go directly to myran.com. Let me put that in here. So myran.com, that's 2 A's and 1 N. That'll take you directly to the real-time air advisory network, where you can put in the location. Yes, you have the app. That's fantastic. You can put in the location on our website and get the current air quality information for both ozone and PM 2.5. But while there, you can register to receive notifications either by email or text when air quality changes, and you can request to have those alerts when it goes up to a level 3, which is unhealthy for sensitive groups, or not until it goes up to a level 4, which is unhealthy for the general population. So we have that. We also have the Valley Air app, which you can download for free on any mobile device, and it'll give you the same information as RAN. Included on giving you that air quality information, there is a chart on the left side of the screen when you get there that gives you an explanation of what all of the levels of air quality mean, and they relate to the air quality index, which is the information that was given to us by the EPA, and it's a real simple scale. But our real-time air advisory network also focuses on the actual measurement of air pollution in the way that it is measured. For particulate matter, it's micrograms per cubic meter, and for ozone, it's parts per billion. Now, when people look at those, they sometimes get confused because they're used to seeing these easy 1 through 50, 52, 51 to 100 scale numbers in the air quality index. And we have these color coded so you know where that fits in to the air quality index.
Thank you so much.
You bet. One of the things I would also like to mention, when I talked about our Clean Green Yard Machines program and all of the different pieces of equipment that you can go from gasoline to electric, I hope you'll notice that I did not mention leaf blowers. Because we don't want you to use a leaf blower. We'd much rather you use a broom or a rake for residential use. All right.
All right.
I'll let you know that my daughter bought herself a house a year ago, and a friend of ours gifted her a very old lawnmower that he had repaired for her. And she used it a little bit of last year through the spring. It sort of was failing her. It was a lot of yard and a lot of work, and it sort of started spewing fuel. So she's like, that's it, I'm buying myself a lawnmower. She had no intention of going to get an electric one, but she came home with one, and it is the best lawnmower when you watch it in motion. If she doesn't hang on well, it takes her with it. I mean, it goes. So she's really happy with it.
What's great is that they're so much easier to use, and you have the option of getting a corded or a cordless. Obviously, the cord costs more, and they're a little heavier because they have a battery in them. I have a corded one, and I like that better without having to mess with charging it. But charging it is easy, just like we can charge cars now. But you never have to put gas in it or oil, smoke. They tend to be quieter, and there's a lot less moving parts, and you're not spewing that exhaust in your face and impacting your neighborhood, because these are the types of pieces of equipment that impact neighborhood air quality. And that's where we start. We start with the neighborhood and we work out to all of the other things that impact air quality in the San Joaquin Valley.
Well, she purchased at Ace Hardware, and the salesman even directed her to the chart from you guys about the rebate. You can turn it in for, the $250.
Great.
It's dual blades and self-propels, and she's like, I didn't know you could have a lawnmower that works as well. So she's really in heaven with the whole thing.
Fantastic. Well, great. If there's no more questions, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you,
Anthony.
Anthony. Appreciate it
Great, thank you.
very much. Now we come to the portion of our meeting where we give you the floor. If you have any what we call 30-second commercials or infomercials regarding something you want to talk about in your industry, or just an announcement or anything of this sort. Does anybody have anything to say or announce?
I could, if no one has anything, I could jump in and I introduce myself. I'm Casey Hogue, and with Serotonin Creative Consultancy here in Modesto, and we work with business and enterprise scale companies to either help them get on a sustainable business track. So we evaluate their marketing, communication, and supply chains, and either conduct workshops or work on a consultancy basis. And I just, from a business standpoint, it's really exciting to work with these businesses, but just throwing it out there, if there's any other opportunities for us to help any organizations or Anthony, like, the San Joaquin Air Pollution Quality Control District, we're here to help, and here just excited to work with great people doing great things. And so if anyone's interested in hearing more, would be more than happy to offline converse with anyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and as a reminder, feel free to throw your contact information in the chat to share.
I just want to point out that Lyndon would normally automatically go to me during this point in the meeting, but since I've talked too much already, I won't today.
That's really funny because I was literally going to say this. You took the words right out of it. You're welcome to announce something if you want. I don't want to take that opportunity away.
I think I've done enough damage.
Judy, do you have anything to report on what's going on in your world?
No, not this time, but I do have a quick question for Anthony.
Sure.
And so, Anthony, I was wondering if you have any events scheduled for people to see and drive a variety of EVs. You have anything scheduled coming up?
There were some events that were scheduled, and that was through the Coalition for Clean Air, I believe. And we were working together with them, and we were going to have events in Manteca, in Fresno, and Bakersfield for, I think it's called Drive Electric Week, which was last month. And unfortunately, those events were canceled because of COVID and all the complications. I believe that they will be taking place in the spring. And obviously, it would be fantastic to have CARB involved.
If you get to where you want to do something like that here in Modesto, I just worked on a campaign with 16 of the rooftops of dealerships here. I think they would all participate in an opportunity to share EV exposure.
That is fantastic. I definitely keep that in mind and try to make that happen when that comes. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. Anyone else have something they'd like to share?
I will say, for those of you who are Stanislaus County employees, as you know, the Wellness Fair is coming up. And how many of you are Stanislaus County employees? I'm not completely certain.
On this call, I don't think there's any county employees.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I guess I will not announce that class. But the Master Gardeners have in the past done classes on low water landscaping and that sort of thing along the same vein as far as protecting our air and water quality. And we have a YouTube channel. So if anybody's ever interested in any of those classes, they're free, and I can put that in the chat.
Thank you. Jeff, I know you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are moving forward with chargers, EV chargers at our Turlock and Salida facilities. So we are looking at the incentives that you offer. I'm not managing, or at least I haven't been assigned that project yet, but I did forward the information on, and it looks like we are going to pull the trigger on that finally. And then, you know, we've got a really good greenhouse gas emission project going on here in Sacramento, where we're replacing some high pressure steam boilers with hot water heaters to more effectively serve the needs of the plant. And the success of that project has really led us to evaluate our boiler and steam production at our Turlock facility, and we're doing something similar there, a little smaller scale, but looking forward to a greenhouse gas reduction effort at our Turlock facility next year.
You know, I would like to mention, as you mentioned, that you're using our grant to install electric vehicle charging stations. Sometimes we have opportunities, and for all of you, to provide some recognition for making those types of changes. You know, when you get those installed, take some pictures of yourself, or you know, whoever the general manager of the facility might be, actually using these electric vehicle charging stations. And you know, maybe we can get that on social media. I'm our social media content provider at the Air District. I love being able to give recognition to organizations, and the Air District loves doing that whenever these types of advancements are made. So, you know, email me, I'll give you my email. Email me some photos when you get that in.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have a number of chargers at our Sacramento facility that we installed a couple of years ago, and we didn't really actively, advocate for employees to change to electric vehicles, but they have been increasing quite rapidly since we put those in. So we're hoping to see a similar response when we put some in down in Stanislaus County as well. So yeah, I can share some of that with you as we go down that path.
Great.
Thank you. Madhu, do you have anything you want to share today?
No, except I really, really enjoyed that presentation there, Anthony. There was a lot of great information to share. I wish I would have had my husband join me too. He's our official landscaper at the house now that he's retired. So that was a lot of great information. And it's so great to see that, that the chamber is so involved. And I don't say that just as a chamber board member, but just, the involvement that we have with our community members to make a better world for everybody going forward. That's very impressive. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu. And Laura, you joined just a little bit ago. Would you like to introduce yourself? We're at that point of just sharing, 30-second infomercials, something you have.
Oh, surely. I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute. I was over here eating my lunch. Sorry. Yes, I'm an artist here, and I sell art online with an online gallery. And the prices of the art range from several $100s to $5,000 to $10,000. And we're going to have a event at the Chamber on Friday, December 3rd from noon to 4. And there'll be some art there for people to see. And I'm sorry I missed so much of your presentation. I'll go back and watch the recording. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. Madhu, Stan has every opportunity to watch this entire presentation when we get it up on the website. So feel free to drive that direction. If I could add, Jolene sitting here, if you look this way and you can wave, you're on camera too. She's working really hard on outreach to engage with our surrounding small businesses, especially businesses in lower economic scenarios and pockets in our community, to help them get certified, access rebates to help them through the process, help them walk through their checklist. And it's really open to any business, no matter the size or the sector of business and industry. So if nothing else, help us do the outreach if you know of a business that would really benefit by upgrading lighting or, all the pieces. Now, Casey, you've gone through the checklist. It's different per environment, but some great information is learned by going through the process. And we do work really hard to try and help access rebates to offset and improve the environment for all of us.
Okay, cool. If there's no more announcements, we'll wrap it up. And thank you again for attending. And thank you to the chamber for putting this on. We will see you November 18th. And Vicki Rice from the City of Modesto Recycling Program Coordinator will be our speaker. So we look forward to that. And again, thank you for attending, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.